Epic Morning is brought to you by the Club at Cordillera.
Hey, good morning from Minturn, from the railroad tracks. This is really where Minturn began. Now, granted, there were people that were farming here, and the first house was built in 1881. But by 1887, the railroad made its way through Minturn, and there's so much history. And really, this is really how the town was it was built, was because of this guy right here. Now, by the 1860s in the U.S., there was already 30,000 miles of railroad track, and some of the improvements that they made before they actually laid the line here in Minturn were the original rails were actually made out of wood, but then they decided that that couldn't actually hold up the locomotive, so they changed it to these steel rails. Another one of the improvements that they made before they built the railroad here in Minturn was these hooked nails that actually held on to the rails, which is an important thing too. And so, by the time that the railroad came here through Minturn, there had been some standards that were set, and a lot of those standards were because by the 1870s or so, there were 12 different types of gauges that were running through the United States. So that meant that you could have anywhere between maybe 2 feet to 4 feet, and so the locomotives had to be built specified to what the gauges were. Well, that was really kind of inefficient, and so what ended up happening is the railroads were kind of standardized because they started importing locomotives from England, and over in England the standard gauge was 4 feet 8 1/2 inches, which is what you're seeing here today. So more history coming your way from Minturn, and also some great deals coming up from the outlets at Silverthorne.